Hello everyone. So I got I got my first interview chance. So I applied through a LinkedIn. I applied at many companies, but one of them approached me through email that what are my free timings. So I answered them, and we had that interview scheduled at that fixed time. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what are the questions were asked me and how it went. So obviously, it start with the same question. Tell me about yourself. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to discuss only questions. So maybe you already knew the answer. So instead of making this video very long, I'm just telling what are the questions asked and how, as a fresher, like this was my very first interview, and so how it went and how I felt. That's what I want to convey through this video. So first, let me talk about what were the questions asked. So the questions were asked from these sections: JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React. Right. So let us start with JavaScript. So they start with the very basic questions like what is the difference between var, lat, and const. And then there were some follow-up questions also, but now when I start writing, I just mix them. So the follow-up question was this one, like this question, function test, console log, this one. So basically, they were asking that what is the output of this. So like we are declaring variable later, but we are accessing them earlier. So many of you must know this answer, right? So I also gave this answer correctly. So this was the follow-up question. So generally in good interviews, I'm observing that they are having follow-up questions, right? Even at one point I observed that whatever the input that I am giving, the next question is based upon that only, right? So then she asked me what is the difference between null and undefined. I stump on this question, so I will definitely, I'm going to read through it. Okay, then another question, like this was a follow-up question from the question one itself. So she asked that I have an array which is declared with const keyword, and then I'm pushing some value into it. So will it give me an error or it is a valid code? So since it is a valid code, we always do this kind of thing. We are pushing and popping the values out of the array, right? So she asked that why here we are mutating the array, but why it is not a problematic, even we are declaring with const. So you must know that what should be the answer, right? So I explain her that clearly, even though later when I was thinking about the answer, I should practice more about this particular question, because I was not explaining this answer in very plain language. It means I was using terminologies like memory heap and this call stack, and without explaining them I was using them. So I was just understanding that she knew all these things. So this is not how we should answer. We should always try to answer in the layman language, knowing that the person on the other side of the table knows nothing. So I will try to try to answer this question in the future in such manner. Then the next question was about what is difference between equal to and triple equal to. Then the follow-up question, like if I have 5 equal to this string 5 versus 5 triple equal to string 5, what will be the output? Something like that. Then the question was on type coercion, that like 3 plus 2, what it will be. So and at this point, like I panicked. I did not panic. Like I was so confident that okay, I knew this answer, and I just tell her that okay, so this will do the type coercion, and the 3 will be converted into a number. The answer will be 5. I answered like that, and I was so confident. So I stopped answering. So she waited for a minute, and then she waited for a second, and then she said that, "Are you sure?" Then suddenly something strikes into my mind, and I said that no. I jumbled up. Uh, I messed it up. So I again repeated my answer that it should be 32. So this is what happens during the interview. Uh, okay, so just keep on practicing, right? Such type of question uh, may take you out of the interviews. Such type of question may be asked, and especially in such questions, I observed that especially in such easy questions, you should be very cautious. Okay, so now for the next part, 3 minus 2. So that part now, since I was clear for the first question, so I clearly answered it. What is the answer? 1. Now I was expecting that she will ask me that what is type coercion, why it happens. I was not prepared for that. So I should write this question, and I will prepare this question. Type coercion. In some interviews it may be asked. I'm thinking so. The next question was, what is closer? Now, even though I prepared about such questions, I was not getting what is closer. My mind was blank. So I asked her that, I knew this, I read this concept, can you give me a hint, so that just a small hint, so that I can answer it. So she gave a hint that it is something related to lexical scope. And then I realized that what is closer. I just tell her the what is closer. Although even at that moment I forgot the definition, so I just gave an example. There is outer function, inner function, and something like that. So that was okay. I should prepare this question again. Then she asked that, what is the disadvantage of closer? Never heard this question, so I tell her the same thing, that at the moment, uh, instead of just saying don't know, I don't know, we can say that, at this moment I do not know this answer, and I will definitely look into it. So that's how I replied to this question. Then again, what the advanced JavaScript methods like map versus filter versus reduce. So she asked that, what are all these three and how they works. So I tell her that also. Then she asked that, out of the above three, which one return array? Okay, obviously map and filter both returns an array. Then she asked that, out of above three, which one returns an array have the same length as the original array? So that this question, like, it will happen that you will not always prepare all the questions. So this question was I never seen it, but so we can answer this question, right? If we know what is if we know clearly what is map, filter, and reduce. So I tell her that map will surely always return an array that will have same length as the original array. While the filter may or may not return the array of the same length as the original array, depending upon the condition of the filter, while the reduce will always return a value. So this is how I answered it. The next question I have already covered. So this is something related to hosting. She did not particularly ask hosting, but she asked this question. Then this question. This question was asked also at the starting, but I've written it at the end. So she asked that, you have this code, and even she asked me to share my screen so that I do not write it on the console or somewhere, and just answer this question. So we were sharing the screen. I was sharing the screen. So this question and this question, let a equal to 5, then function a, and I was so confident. I tell her that the answer, I'm not. Let me tell the exact answer that I have told her. I tell her that answer should be something like this, like a function pointer a, something like that. Answer should be there, and I was so confident, right? Because the function a was there, and I thought that, because let a equal to 5 and then a function is there, so I got confused between this topic, that we cannot do like this. Okay, I just thought that now the a will have the function value inside it, so it will hold a function pointer into it. I just thought like that, but later when I run it on the console, then I came to know that it will give us an array. It will give us an error. So what error? So here, this is the error. Reference, sorry, it is not here. Okay, so just run it on your console. It will give an error that you cannot reassign this value variable, something like that. Okay, so this also happens. She was not telling me that which answer I'm giving incorrectly. Obviously, she will not, right? So this happens. Now, till now, from my responses, you must have this feeling that how my interview is going and how the outcome is going to be. Okay, so I was not getting that feeling at that time, because uh, because I did not have time to think about that. The questions were continuously going and going. So it was an hour long interview, about an hour. Okay, then she asked that, are you aware about CS and HTML also? So I said her, yes, I'm aware. Excuse me. Okay, then so she asked, we starting with this question, importance of alt attribute and image tag, and I have uh, recently read about it. Even though I knew about the alt attribute earlier, but recently I came across this error that in React you cannot keep your alt tag as empty. it is very important you give some information in the alt text in React. It will give you an error and it will not render your page, right? So I tell her this information, and then I tell her that it is important for accessibility and for all those stuff that is about alt attribute, right? Then she asks about what is span and div tag. Here I tell her that I do not know much about them, but I the one is block, div is block, and span is inline. Then she asks this question: what is inline and block, right? So next she asked that how do we link JavaScript file with HTML? So I tell her that using script and src script tag with src attribute we use this. And then she said that where should we keep this piece of code, like in the body tag or in the head tag, at the starting or at the end, and what is the effect of that. So we discuss, not discuss, I just tell her because I knew this information, but I think I need to practice more on this question, because I was not I was not trying to create a proper sentence because I did not prepare this question properly. I knew this, I read this information, but at that moment I was not very confident about it. And she asked what is Z index, so I just tell her what is Z index. But I should later on I realized that we should always give some examples also. If we are getting some straightforward, some definition type of questions, we should give some examples also, because I was feeling that she was hoping some more from me. Like I just tell her the definition of Z index, but uh, she paused, and then she was like, it was like she was waiting that I'm going to tell her some examples also, right? So next, she asked me that what are the different properties of display. First, she asked me this question: what is display and what are different values it holds? Then when I tell her that display holds none also, then she asked me this question: difference between display none versus visibility hidden. This only. Although this part opacity 0 I have added from my side because that is also related to it. So this question I am going to research because I am very much confused. I know display none keeps your element out of the DOM. It means those elements will not be clickable. You cannot click on those elements. While just putting the visibility hidden and opacity 0, the elements will be clickable. Now, what are some other differences that I need to look? Then flex versus grid, right? Then there was one more question, like, yes, I forgot to write it. What are semantic tags? So I answered it also. Then she asked me, are you aware about React? So I said yes, but I was not interview ready for the React part because I did not prepare for that. I will do that. So she started with this question: difference between React versus Angular versus Vue. I was stumped at this point because I do not know the main advantage of React or the comparison parameters. I do not know. Then she asked what is virtual DOM, advantage of virtual DOM. Here also, I got I got stumped. I did not know this, so I said her that I don't know. Then she asked state versus props. I said something, but she was not convinced. And later on, I googled also. So I found that the information that I provided was not satisfactory. So you should also look after this question: what are hooks, and what is difference between class versus functional based components? All these questions. So this was all from the technical part. Then at the end, she asked me if there is any question you want to ask. So I don't know. Obviously, I do not prepare this question. So the one question that came into my mind, I asked her that what is the importance of when I applied for this job, and there was this requirement 1+ years of experience. So I tell her clearly that since I do not have this experience, this 1+ years of experience, how much weightage of this point for this job is going to be. So she did not answer clearly, but she said that it matters for us, and we will let you know. She ended with that. And just after 2 hours of my interview, I got this result that you are not suitable for this position. I was expecting this, right? So that's it. That was all about this interview. And next, so so every experience comes with some learning, right? So what are key learning from this experience for me? So I should prepare more interview questions, not just mugging up. I should practice these interview questions with someone one to one. And it is very important we keep on revising these questions, keep on practicing with someone. So it helps us. So that's what I'm thinking from a very long time, but I will definitely start it. Next, I learned that for easiest question, we should be more cautious, like I told you, right? Then what was happening that she was asking the question, I immediately started answering it. So one should take a deep breath before answering. It will really help you keep your nerves calm. So that is important, right? And also do not speak fast. Like currently in this video, I'm speaking very fast, and this is in this same manner I was speaking in the interview. Like for those questions, which was for which I knew answer, I was speaking very fast. I should speak little slow. On that I'm working. Okay, the next learning point for me, do not just tell definition, we should give examples also. So that's what I'm going to prepare now. I will make another video for my next interview, right? Obviously I cannot tell you the name of the company and other information. I don't think it is okay, it is okay or not okay, but okay, currently I'm not showing the name of the company, right? So this is how I'm keeping track of my interview questions. I also have a master file where I'm keeping all these questions, right? So you can also follow this structure. So it is very important to track your, like I learned this, you need to keep tracking your jobs applications, right? So that's what I'm doing. So here I'm writing experience. In another file I'm writing, I'm keeping track of the jobs that for which I have applied, like I've applied on which date, for which position, for which company, and what is the response, and like follow-ups and other things. So that I'm making, and I'm keep on improving it. I will show you that in my next video. Okay, so if you want, so like in this channel, I'm explaining, I'm documenting my journey from to be a developer. So if you want more such content, if you like such content, or if you want to add, so just like this video or subscribe, all those stuffs, right? Or if you have any doubt, just comment it out. Or if you want to do one-to-one interview preparation with me, we can do that also, right? So all those things that are okay. So that's it for this video. Okay, so thank you.